At the time of this recording, we're heading into Game 6 of the 2021 NBA playoffs, and it's turning out to be one heck of a wild ride as the Milwaukee Bucks and the Phoenix Suns battle their way to an NBA championship victory, with the Suns favored to win. The playoffs can be tense time for players who are laying it all on the line and playing the best they can, but it's also a nail-biting experience and a stressful time for fans as well. And as we'll see, some fans clearly have better coping mechanisms and skills than others. So today we're looking at unruly fans and how some of the NBA's top players feel about them, as well as other NBA news. You don't want to miss this. But before we get into the video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel with notifications on so you don't miss any of the new videos we post. First up, we'll take a look at what three-time NBA champ Danny Green thinks about all of the hate from the fans. In a recent interview, shooting guard and small forward for the Philadelphia 76ers, Danny Green said that something definitely needs to change about the hateful and disrespectful behavior coming from some of the fans. Isn't Philadelphia supposed to be the city of brotherly love? Green's comments stem from the recent treatment of his fellow teammate Ben Simmons by angry fans after Simmons' lackluster performance during the semifinals against the Atlanta Hawks. It's no secret that Simmons hasn't had the best of luck with his free-throwing ability. For every free throw, Simmons averages just over a 50% success rate. The fans have lashed out against Simmons, and many fear that he's going to cost the 76ers the 2021 championship. Simmons has been the subject of boos, verbal abuse, and various other profanity-laced tirades. In a recent interview, Green had this to say about the fans in Philadelphia and their treatment of Ben Simmons. "I love our fans, but when things aren't going well, they can turn on you. The one thing that I would disagree with or dislike, some guys use it as motivation, some guys have a chip on their shoulder, but I think that needs to change." When asked what he thinks what fans can do to help support the team, Green had this to say: "They need to be riding with us, regardless of how things are going. We're the #1 team in the East, still playing well, and in some games they'll boo us. That's part of the culture here, part of their way of showing that they love us. But with a guy like Ben and other guys, I think they need to stick behind them and stick by them as long as they can until the horn blows. And even then, he's here. He's given so much to the organization and the city on and off the court that he deserves that respect and that support. I hope that things can turn for him in the city of Philly, so where they don't have a mantra as fans of being cold, rough, and one of the worst in the league, because we had a great time this year, we had a great outing." Next up, we'll look at some of the worst incidents of unruly fan behavior in the NBA history. In recent years, fan behavior has gotten so bad that stadium security and police have started to crack down. Players have been spit on and have had objects thrown at them, and frankly, it's gotten to the point where players and stadium security staff are fed up and have had enough. In May of 2021, at a Brooklyn Nets game in Boston, a fan wearing a Kevin Garnett jersey threw a water bottle at Kyrie Irving and was quickly arrested. Famed NBA star Kevin Durant was disgusted by the incident and had this to say: "We're not a circus. You coming to this game is not about you as a fan, so have some respect for the game, have some respect for these human beings, and have some respect for yourself. Your mother wouldn't be proud of you throwing water bottles at players or spitting at players or tossing popcorn, so grow the F up and enjoy the game." On May 26 of 2021, Washington Wizards all-star player Russell Westbrook had popcorn thrown at him at the end of a game against the 76ers. The fan was banned from the Wells Fargo Center indefinitely. The very same day, during another game, a fan spit on player Trae Young during the Hawks and Knicks game at Madison Square Garden. Up next, we'll look at some more instances of just plain bad fan behavior. A third game on the 26th of May between the Grizzlies and the Jazz in Salt Lake City, Utah, saw 3 fans banned for life after they spewed some extremely offensive, hate-filled vitriol to family members of the Grizzlies star Ja Morant. The comments were so vitriolic that we are not going to repeat them here. A few days later, on the 31st of May in Washington, D.C., the Wizards were taking on the 76ers when a fan ran onto the court. People are unsure what his intentions were because he was tackled so fast by security that he didn't have a chance to do anything. The NBA and team owners have made it abundantly clear that there will be zero tolerance for such unruly behavior. The vast majority of fans respect the game and the players, so let's hope that this recent rash of incident can be chalked up to pandemic lockdown stress and doesn't become a trend in the future. Next up, we'll take a look at some interesting, lesser-known NBA facts. Even though the LA Lakers didn't make the playoff, they still finished first in something: merchandise sales. Despite the rise of stellar teams from the East Divisions and other rising new talent in the league, the Lakers are still #1 when it comes to merchandise sales, thanks in large part to having King James on their roster. LeBron and the Lakers have been the reigning champs when it comes to NBA merchandise sales since 2018. LeBron's jersey has been the top-selling jersey in America. As of this recording, the top-selling NBA jerseys are as follows. Taking the 14th spot is Kawhi Leonard, in 13th spot is Joel Embiid, in 12th place Anthony Davis, in 11th Trae Young, and in 10th Damian Lillard. The #9 spot goes to James Harden, 8th place to Kyrie Irving, and 7th place to Stephen Stephen Curry. Devin Booker placed 6th for jersey sales, followed by Jason Tatum in 5th, Luka Doncic in 4th, Kevin Durant in 3rd, Giannis Antetokounmpo in 2nd, and of course, King James in 1st. Let's take a look at which teams sell the most merchandise. Starting in 10th place is the 2019 NBA champs, the Toronto Raptors, followed by the Golden State Warriors in 9th, the Boston Celtics in 8th, the Philadelphia 76ers in 7th, followed by the New York Knicks in 6th, the Chicago Bulls take 5th place, the Milwaukee Bucks in 4th, the Phoenix Suns take 3rd, the Brooklyn Nets set the 2nd largest amount of merch, and the Lakers take the top spot. Next up, we'll take a look at which team's players are rumored to be on the chopping block in the 2021 NBA Draft. We'll start with the most obvious and pending trade set to happen this summer, the Philadelphia 76ers' Ben Simmons. As we alluded to earlier, Ben's playing a stunk for a while now. Experts believe he's not mentally fit enough to handle the pressures on the court, particularly when it comes to his free-throwing abilities. Grant Williams from the Boston Celtics is also set to be traded. Williams, a rookie player at 22 years old, will be spending less time on the court due to more minutes being given to more seasoned players and therefore is likely to be traded in the upcoming draft. John Collins from the Atlanta Hawks may also be traded this summer. Collins, a restricted free agent, may accept an offer from another team if it's higher than what the Hawks are offering. Time will tell, so keep an eye out on this one. Next up, let's look at some more possible trades. DeAndre Jordan, center for the Brooklyn Nets, may be on the chopping block. The Nets are essentially paying Jordan $9.8 million to do absolutely nothing. Jordan's accumulated a ton of time on the bench, and many observers have said that Jordan isn't worth his salt, and if anyone needs to go, it's him. A big portion of the Nets fans are reportedly interested in seeing Jordan go as well, because he's simply not pulling his weight. Al-Farouq Aminu of the Chicago Bulls was once a promising player for the Bulls, but he's been dogged by knee injuries for the past several years. Aminu, who was once with the Portland Trail Blazers, was known as a top-quality player. If Aminu can put his injuries behind him, maybe the Bulls will be able to recoup some value in him, because after all, they paid him over $10 million in the short time he's been with the franchise. Finally, we'll bring you up to speed on some 2021 NBA playoff news. Game 6 is around the corner, and man, this one is going to be a nail-biter. It's the first time in the Phoenix Suns' history that the team has entered a playoff game with elimination looming over their heads. The Suns have no other choice. They must win Game 6 and force the Bucks back to Phoenix for Game 7, or it's game over for the Suns and it's time to go golfing. One thing is for certain, all eyes will be on Giannis Antetokounmpo, the Bucks' very own Greek god, and the Phoenix Suns' Devin Booker, who during Game 5 scored a whopping 40 points. Thanks for listening and watching. Please click to like and subscribe to our channel. More exciting and informative videos are on the way.